Everyone's welcome here. It's good to be here. It's so good to be here. I went to the theater last night. I saw Into the Woods. Into the Woods. Wasn't it wonderful? Really wonderful. If you guys, if you're a show tune lover, as I am, I highly encourage you to make your way down to the opposite. Do rush seats, you know, good place. Beautiful production. And I was actually Into the Woods when I was in high school. And yeah, it's a monster of a musical. And it was like the first time I saw it though. And it was really like touching and emotional to me. And of course, I see everything now through a spiritual lens. And I was like, this is some profound stuff, Stephen Sondheim. Like, wow, because the whole premise of the first act, which by the way is 90 minutes, so the first act is like an hour and a half, is that everybody wants something. You know, everybody wants something, and it's told through fairy tale characters. So Cinderella wants her prince, and you know, Jack and his family want money, and another group of characters want, you know, babies. So everybody sets out to get what they want, and at the end of the first act, everybody has what they want. They've accomplished it. And you know, the old witch wants beauty, so she gets that. It's this great thing. And then at the second act, everybody is miserable. So they're like, the prince is cheating on Cinderella. She wants out anyway because she's completely bored. And it's like, this is like a week in the life of any of my friends in Los Angeles. I think so. These are many of the calls that I get during the week. They're like, can I talk to you about something? I'm completely bored and miserable and just continue on. You know, and then what's interesting is this giant comes into the play and starts killing everybody off. And the giant, in my mind, through the spiritual lens, represented karma, in essence. You know, like having to confront the effects of your thinking, of your misery, of the choices that you make. So we're always looking at and confronting the choices that we make. And karma, the way I see karma and understand karma, is simply a learning opportunity. Karma is a learning opportunity. And sometimes we have not taken the opportunity to learn. And so we have another opportunity and another opportunity and another opportunity until we finally receive the lesson that's available. And so many people have the experience of going out with the same person over and over and over again. They just have different names and different body sizes and all that stuff, but it's the exact same person. How am I in this situation again? Well, it's because we weren't willing to receive the lesson available or the opportunity present in that moment. So the universe, who's so loving, the universe got our back. And the universe also knows exactly what you truly desire. Because what we truly desire is always a spiritual quality. It always is. And so it will arrange opportunity after opportunity after opportunity for you to embody and experience that spiritual quality. And if you are ready to release the story you've created about yourself and stand in the truth of who you are, then you can receive the learning opportunity. And you don't have to do it again. You don't have to date that person ever again. It's wonderful. We call this, now how do we do this? We have a wonderful tool that we all can use. And it's the most valuable tool that any of us can take advantage of at any time. It's called forgiveness. It's called forgiveness. So we use true forgiveness as our tool to receive the wonderful opportunities that are all around us, so we can align with our heart's true desire, which in essence, when you peel away all of the layers, it's just to know ourselves, know the truth about ourselves, right? So taking this wonderful musical that I saw as an example, you know, the characters all set out on a magical journey, a crazy journey, so they could get what they wanted. And they all thought, if I got this thing, then I could truly, finally be happy. Well, isn't that sort of the odyssey that so many of us are on? Isn't that the odyssey that we are told we should be on if we want to make an impact in the world? If we want to matter, if we want to be remembered, we have to accomplish or achieve or get in order to be worthy, in order to have the right to earn people's love and respect. Even the idea that we have to earn it is absolutely untrue. So, one of the themes in the show last night that was really like in my face, and like Christopher shared, like we're really going through this this like really intense experience of foster to adopt, which we really had no idea was going to be as intense as it is. But one of the themes is, the children will listen, they're paying attention, and what is it that you're interested in teaching them? And it's not necessarily what you say, it's about what you do. Of course, the Miracles always say that we teach through our demonstration, right? So you might be able to say one thing, and I think that this is a really prevalent conversation in spiritual community, because a lot of ministers and priests we see, they put on, they try to live this life that they think they're supposed to live, right? And this is where judgment really gets us, it really kicks our butt. Because it's like, this is good and this is bad, right? And so if you're being a good religious person, then you're going to do this. But if you're being bad, then you have this whole idea of sin, that somehow you can upset God or attack God in some way through the choices that you're making, which is cray-cray. So people collapse under this archetype that they've created for themselves, right? And then we see the S really go down. Like the whole thing that happened in the Catholic Church not so many years ago. The preacher that just passed away like last month, and he was a real big anti-LGBT preacher, but he was gay. And he died of AIDS-related illness. I mean, think of that. That is what happens to us when we are denying who we are. It eats away at us. And when you are condemning other people, you're projecting other people, your judgments onto other people. It just eats away and eats away until you can no longer stand it anymore. The truth always comes out. So that's what I'm saying. We teach through our demonstration. He might preach one thing, but we can't hide the decisions that we make. We can't hide our choices. Every thought is creative, right? And so he began to create, this preacher that just died, began to create a reality of what he really felt on the inside. One of being ridiculed. One of being talked about behind his back. One of being humiliated because he judged something as bad that he had no right to judge as bad. He had an opportunity, a learning opportunity, that he didn't choose to receive. He could have forgiven the people who had told him that being gay was bad. He could have forgiven himself for the pain and the upset he created in so many other people's lives. He could have asked himself to be forgiven, and released himself from all the pain and all the upset and all the discontent that he manifested through the power of his words and his actions. But he chose not to do that. He chose to live in denial. And what's wonderful is he actually gave everybody a beautiful lesson, didn't he? Because we got to see what that looks like. What denying your truth really looks like. What running from it looks like. What using ugliness and fear looks like. And so aren't we done with that? Aren't we ready to just get clear as to what it is that's really being called to experience, I've talked about this before here, but there's an exercise that I do with clients sometimes. I always say this is the one exercise that I do that makes me lose all of my clients who are actors. Because I invite them to imagine the life of their dreams. Like close your eyes and just see yourself as having everything that you could possibly ask for. The career is there and all that stuff is there. It's like, now, how does it feel? And they're there and they're like, it feels freeing and it feels like I'm content and I'm doing what I love and I feel like I matter and I'm there and I'm in love. And I'm like, beautiful. What a beautiful experience. And now you know what your heart's true desire actually is. It has nothing to do with the stuff, and it has everything to do with what you think that stuff is going to bring you. So it's really about feeling content, feeling in love, feeling successful, feeling fulfilled now. That's what's being called forth now from your spirit to experience, because that is your right as a child of God. Now, but we've been told something completely different. And it's insane to think that right here, right now, with the way our life looks in this moment, that we deserve to be happy, that we deserve to be loved, that we deserve to be at peace. How could we possibly be at peace when we have that student loan debt? How could we possibly feel free when I'm only making this amount of money? How could I possibly feel successful when I'm at an entry-level position still? I can't feel that way. I have to earn the right to feel that way. Well, I'm here to tell you, there is nothing to earn. There is absolutely nothing you need to do to be worthy of all of those qualities now. That's the big misperception. And so we have opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to realize that for ourselves. And if you look around your life, look at every experience that you've ever had. If you are wise enough to say, I created this, then you're moving in the right direction. And if you're really wanting to go for gold, you say, I created this because I love myself so much. And you're like, yeah, but it looks like a big steaming pile of dog do. Why would I want to say that I created that? And I didn't create that. They created it. And they created it. And it was my awful boss that makes me feel belittled and like worthless. And it's my partner who cheated on me that made me feel insecure and that like I can't trust anyone. It's their fault. You created it. What wonderful, loving angels to come and support you in your healing process, right? What wonderful, beautiful people that came and said, I'm going to be your worst nightmare of a boyfriend. Because I love you so much. Because I know on a soul level that your heart's true desire is to love yourself unconditionally and to learn that you don't need a man to prove your worth. So here I am, baby. I'm going to cheat on you. I'm going to tell you that you don't look good enough. I'm gonna, whatever it is, whatever your situation is. And this is going to support you. And if you're willing to receive the learning opportunity, this is going to be the perfect situation and opportunity for you to be like, no, I do not play that game. My perfect partner does not cheat on me. I am not interested in being talked down to. Thank you very much, because I know who I am, and it is time I start acting like it. So there is the door, and thank you very much for this wonderful learning opportunity to know who I am and own my own power. And now I know I never have to have a situation like you ever again. God bless you. What a gift. You know what I mean? What a gift. I always say, like, with dating in Los Angeles is always such a wonderful example, because every time you start talking about it, everybody's like this. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, I know that one. Mm-hmm. I know that guy. Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I know what she said. I dated for a very long time while I was creating Inspire, while we were doing in like the developmental phases, the first couple of years. I would date guys that had no interest in spirituality, didn't want to talk about it, even had an aversion to it. And I would date those people because it made me feel ashamed of it, like I was something weird or strange about me. And what I get now, in retrospect, is that it's because I was afraid that people were going to think I was weird and strange for starting this sort of kind of community. And so I needed those people to come and affirm that for me until I was able to get the clarity to say, wait a minute, I love these people. How am I weird? Look at all these people in this room. There are people in Los Angeles, there are good men in Los Angeles who are interested in deepening their connection to spirit. So this is the evidence that I have. So if I keep thinking that people are going to think I'm weird, these people, well, maybe you think I'm weird, I don't know, but like, you know, at least you're here, right? Like, so at least someone's interested in having the conversation. And so I got, you know what? No, this is actually one of the most beautiful things about me. I love my devotion to God. I love that I love love. I love that I'm interested in understanding how my thoughts are creating the world around me and how I can shift that so I can support a new immersion of a peace-filled world peace. I'm into that. And that turns me on, and I am interested in somebody who is going to lift me up and support me in that. That's what I know. And it wasn't until I loved it about myself that I could meet someone that loved it too, that saw that this was a beautiful thing, a beautiful part of me. But without all those awful experiences, getting clear as to what that feeling was, and that feeling was I wasn't being my authentic self, I didn't have that clarity until those awful experiences happened. And eventually I was willing to receive the learning opportunity. Thank God. And I never had to do that again. Isn't that wonderful to know? So, Christopher shared a little bit about the foster to adopt process, and I wanted to share a little bit about, like, just because you're my community, my support system, and I'd like to keep it real, like just exactly what I've been learning and how I've been learning that, and my biggest aha moment that came a couple weeks ago to me, because it has felt like so confronting and so painful in a lot of ways, and there's so much fear that's been arising, and nobody told us this when we took our classes, right? We had 8 weeks of classes, and no one told us that it's going to feel like you're going to Nam, you know what I mean? And like every phone call, you're like, oh God, who's going to be on the other line of this? You know, what information are they going to tell me? You know, and my judgment has come up, you know. My beliefs have come up about what I think should happen and how it should happen. And what a beautiful gift. And I understood, I was about my second week into it, and I was just like melting down. And I was just having panic attacks, and all of these things were coming up. And I said, God, I am not interested in learning through the fire anymore. I'm interested in learning through joy. And what came to me so clearly, clear as a bell, was this. The voice of God said to me, well, that's up to you. It is your decision to learn through joy. Because, Rev Jesse, you have all the information. You stand up and you proclaim week after week after week that we live in a loving universe, that the greatest good is always unfolding no matter what, that the best case scenario can present itself when you're willing to see it and believe it. So what happened to all of that? That doesn't get to be like, and that's all good except for this one case. You know? And so if I truly believe that the greatest good is unfolding, that love is truly all there is, and that love is the great healer, and that if we move in love, then miracles will unfold no matter what. If I truly believe that, then what do I have to fear? What do I possibly have to fear? What is creating pain is a fantasy scenario that I think is the best case scenario. Like, this has to be the best case scenario. It looks like this. But what do I know? I have a limited perception. Why not open up the floodgates to the mind of God that lives in all of us and allow the best case scenario to unfold and surprise me, delight me, right? So I invite you all to consider, where are you holding on tightly to what you think the best case scenario is going to be for you? Where are you not accepting the healing opportunities that are available to you? If you're really interested in getting clear, look at the patterns. What pattern keeps presenting itself time and time and time again in your life? What are you absolutely sick and tired of? Can't do it anymore, not one more time. That is right there. That's your greatest opportunity. And so instead of making the other person wrong choose to change your mind and see this person as your most valuable holy relationship, as your friend that is coming to you with the opportunity to receive the greatest gift that you could ever receive, which is understanding and experiencing yourself as you truly are, as limitless, as perfect, whole, and complete right now. There's always a gift. There's always the opportunity to know love. And if you're like, that sounds great, Rev Jesse, in theory, but how can I possibly be at peace right now with this administration, with this new health bill that they're trying to pass, with this new religious freedom act that they're trying to pass? How can I possibly be at peace right now? Well, again, it requires us to be willing to believe that our greatest good is always unfolding, that we live in a loving universe, that the best case scenario is ever present if we are willing to see it, if we are willing and disciplined enough to stay out of judgment. If that's bad, we're good. That's bad, I'm right. You know what I mean? Because the more that the ego, you can always tell if you're an ego, because in the ego, somebody has to lose. Somebody has to lose. And so we have to really become, like, it feels like spiritual warriors, but there's nothing that we're fighting. But you have to get really disciplined to check yourself and say, okay, I'm feeling upset. Good. I'm grateful that I'm upset because I know that I'm not in alignment with love. Okay? So here's step one. Step two, what am I believing here? And in this scenario, does somebody have to lose? And if somebody has to lose, and I know I'm an ego, so I'm willing to hand over this belief. I'm willing to, like we said in our prayer, I'm willing to place this on the holy altar in my mind so I can alter my perception of the situation so that I may experience peace. And that logic is completely insane to the ego. The goal just feeling at peace seems absolutely crazy to the ego mind. But I'll tell you why, and why the ego would never want you to just feel at peace. Because if you felt at peace, if we all felt at peace, what do you think would manifest in the world? Peace. Perfect peace. So the ego sees that as death. Because in perfect peace, we are able to see the oneness that connects each and every one of us. So what is creating upset and stress in your life? Are you willing to let it go? Are you willing now to receive the lesson? Or are you going to allow karma to continue to stomp on you like a big giant coming around, causing havoc? The time is now. And now more than ever is it so vitally important that you figure out who you are. Because what we're seeing out here is just an outpicturing of what's happening in here. Always and forever. We live in a loving universe. The greatest good is always unfolding. The best case scenario is available to present itself right now if you are willing to see it. The ego, decision making, somebody has to lose. And now you're starting to get some framework to how you can experience your true self, your worthiness, feelings of accomplishment and success and abundance without having to get something to prove that you're worthy enough to experience that now. And this, my friends, is how we are going to experience world peace. Piece by piece by piece by piece by piece by piece. Let's pray. So you can place a hand on your heart, taking a deep breath in. And let's declare this to be a breath of gratitude, so grateful, so thankful for all the good that's unfolding in our lives now. There is so much good. The fact that we are here now having this conversation is proof, perfect, that there is good. In fact, good is all there is. It's only our misperception that would say that anything other than perfection is unfolding at any time. So we give thanks for the world around us. We take responsibility for what's unfolding in our life. We let go of the victim card. We release everyone in our life, letting them go from being the bully, letting them go from being the cause of our upset, of our dis-ease. And we stand in the light of truth. And in the light of truth, we understand that everything we need is here, present now. It's not about getting anything, but it's about allowing what is already here to pour forth and express freely in, as, and through our lives. We are peace. We are joy. We are beauty. And if you believe me, please say yes right now.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. We are extensions of the divine. And all the qualities of the divine are pre-installed in us. And so we now allow those qualities to come forth, to shine brightly, and show us the next step to take in the path of self-awareness. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. We share all the healing that's unfolding right here, right now, with every form of life, because we are one with them. And in grace and gratitude, we let it be. And so it is. Amen.